everyone, I'm back. This is the day after I just showed you yesterday how to start and stop by locking in your stitches, and also how to bring the bobbin thread up. So that was yesterday's video. Now today's video, I have another way that I want to show you how to tie your threads off. Now this video is going to be short and simple. So I hope this helps you if you decide to tie your stitches off by burying your threads. So first of all, let's start by, this is my little pin cushion right here. And I've got my needle here, and I don't know if you can see this or not, but this is a self-threading needle. Come on, focus in there. All right, it's not going to focus on me. So it's self-threading, so it makes it very, very easy. You don't have to, put the thread through the hole. It's very easy to get the thread on here and bury your thread. So let's do that. All right, I'm going to turn the camera around again. All right, bear with me. Okay, so here I got my little side piece that I do my demoing on, and I want to zoom in. So, woohoo! Whoa! All right, well, let's see here. All right, bear with me. I'm sorry. Okay. That's good right there. Let me turn out my laser light. That will help get rid of that blinking light, that blinking red light. We don't want to see that. Okay, so I'm just going to make a stitch here. And in yesterday's video, we brought the bobbin thread up. All right, so I've got my bobbin thread, and I've got the slack out of the bobbin thread underneath. And now I'm just going to stitching backwards, and now I'm going to stop. So let's just say I'm finished with my motif or whatever I want to do here. So I'm going to bring my bobbin thread up again, and always bring that bobbin thread up no matter what. All right, so I've got my bobbin thread, and in yesterday's video, I showed you how to do that. All right, so here we go. So the one that pulls the bobbin thread is the loop, okay? So there's one side of the loop that doesn't pull, and then there's the other side that pulls, pulls from the bobbin so that you can get your thread as long as you want. So I'm just going to clip the one that pulls from the bobbin, and I have now a nice tail of my bobbin thread. But I also want to cut my top thread as well. So I'm going to cut it. So I've got them both cut, and they are actually just a little long. You can see how long they are, and you don't really need it that long. And then I've got the tail end down here with the bobbin and the top thread. So let's just come up here, and let me zoom in again so you can see this up close. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my needle, if I need to, and I'm going to separate the two, the top and the bobbin thread. Let me get that out of the way. And then we're going to tie a square knot. So a square knot is, okay, so I'm holding my thread like this, but I'm pulling on this thread here all the way down. That's one. Pulling on the same tail, that's two. And I like to put in three, just for good measure, that's all. All right, so that part is done. We've got our knot. So now I'm going to take my needle, and let's see if you can see this. There's the eye right there, and there's an opening right at the top. And what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to just put that up against the thread, like so. And then I'm going to push on my needle, holding my thread nice and tight. Push my needle, making sure that both of those went through. Now, sometimes both don't go through, so you have to be aware of that. All right, now I'm going to go back to where my thread came out. And I find if I go in the same hole, sometimes it seems like it's a little loose. So what I like to do is a thread or two back from it and just put my needle through there, and I want to come out a good ways. Now, I am not going all the way through the quilt. I'm staying within the batting. So with a dark thread like this, you want to be in the batting because I have light fabric. Otherwise, it's going to show through at some point. So try to kind of get through the batting if you can. And then we're going to take our needle and we're just going to pull, and you hear a little pop, and you know that that knot is buried down into the quilt, and it won't come out. Those knots are in there really good. So let's do the other end. So we are right here on the other end, and I'm going to do this one. And first of all, we're going to separate the threads, and then we're going to make our square knot. 1, 2, and 3. And if you forget to make a square knot and it just becomes a regular knot, that's okay. Don't worry about it. All right, so now I'm going to put my needle right next, just a thread over maybe. And I'm going to just bury it, bury it into the quilt. All right, sometimes it's a little difficult to get that. Okay, so there we are. So you see that my needle came out, but I want to go further than that. So I'm going to back it up. And you can see from the needle here is poking out, and this end here is poking out. And so the distance from where the needle went in to where it went out is quite enough. So now I'm going to push that needle through and pop. Sometimes you'll hear that pop and sometimes you won't. If you don't hear the pop, I will split the threads again, and then I'll tug on one and then tug on the other. And sometimes, there, I heard the pop now, so I know that that's in there. So don't be afraid to bury your threads. You can see that it's completely flawless. There's no backtracking, overstitching to lock in the stitches. There's no tiny stitches. Now let's do this again. So again, we're just taking the needle up to the thread, setting the thread on there, and pushing the needle through, and it's threaded, a self-threading needle. So I find I've used 2 different kinds. I don't even know what the other one I use, but this is a Fons and Porter self-threading needle, and I seem to like it a lot better. It seems to pop, the thread seems to pop in a lot better when having double threads there. So I hope you've learned something from this video, and I'm going to turn you back around. Of course I am. I'll get better at this, I promise. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you've learned from it, more importantly, and try it. Try burying your threads. I do it all the time, especially on show quilts. When I'm quilting those, I'll bury a lot of threads. Not all of them. Not all of them need burying. Mostly just like if you're doing a motif or something like that, where you don't want the overlap on the stitching to lock in the stitches. So try it and have fun with it. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And my website, jackiesmachinequilting.com, have lots of things going on there. So thank you so much.